fake medicine we're dealing with, or is it good food? And this is the good food I've been eating lately. It's all I can find really to eat at the moment, because I had such a bad experience with the other way I was doing my food. And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge and then we'll come back. Okay. I just wanted you to see that, because my other method of buying food was I would buy anything that they were throwing out. Okay, if they were going to throw it out in rubbish, I would rather buy it and eat it than have that happen to the food. And so that was my policy before. And in the process I got to eat all sorts of food. Like, I don't normally eat meat. I don't normally buy meat to eat that involves keeping animals in bad circumstances and stuff like that. And so in this process I ended up eating quite a bit of meat stuff, or stuff that was processed food that was like, you know, and the price of it was quite high. It would be like £5 marked down to £1 or something like that. And so I just pick it up and eat it before they throw it in the rubbish, because, you know, a lot of this food ends up in the rubbish. Now, this is the first time I've seen them throwing out eggs, because nobody can afford the eggs anymore, so they're not buying any eggs. So it's the first time I've seen that. And I've been paying the price for them, so I haven't been eating many eggs, but I've been buying these particular eggs that are called happy eggs. And they're good eggs. If you eat them, they're alright. You don't get any idea that these are bad eggs. And it's not possible for people to put the word happy eggs and have such an egg box if they're not good. There'll be some sign that nature makes on the product to say it's not good. And so these were £2.85 for 6 eggs. It's a lot of money compared to what eggs used to cost. Now 91p. So I've got this, and obviously they've been in the shop for a while. Does it matter? I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm sure they'll be okay. It's necessary to eat them quickly, not to keep them in our fridge for a long time. So that was my policy, and I've become quite sick really, eating all this bad food. And so it's been difficult for me to find food which is suitable to eat here locally, because I have to, and I can't afford to pay huge prices. See, the dog, yeah, the dog. It's a dog. It's a dog really. It's a dog. Now, in most natural order, you generally eat the same sort of stuff. There's a staple, you know, like in India you have the rice. Yeah, rice is a staple. And I bought this big bag of rice the other day because the price of this might be just about to go through the roof, because India has decided, the dog, decided to keep all this rice for itself, even though it was exporting a lot of rice to the world. Now it wants to stop exporting. Yeah, India has a responsibility to keep people fed, so it's a bit mean just to steal all your own food back again and just you eat it, but that's what they're going to do. So India, and round here we would normally eat bread. They're always throwing a lot of bread out in the supermarket, so I always get the bread that they're throwing out. And that's what this is, and whatever they're throwing out, I just get the best of it. Now, a lot of people will put butter on their bread and then they'll put something else on. And that's a silly idea, because butter tastes really, really good. And it's just like cheese. So you should just really have bread. If you're going to have butter, you may as well eat just bread and butter. You know, because, I mean, that's basically a nice thing to eat. Two slices is a bit much. with butter. If you just put one slice or a piece of toast with just one slice with butter on top so it like melts nicely, it's very nice, you know. It's nice on potatoes and stuff like that. We would traditionally grow a lot of potatoes, so they don't come from Britain, but we have for hundreds of years grown potatoes here. So there would be potatoes, wheat, bread, and so on. So this is what we would normally eat around here, but there's no locally produced wheat around here and that sort of stuff. Not locally produced anything much. And so we're importing the stuff from overseas, and you know, the rice, I'm used to dealing with rice. It's what I used to eat when I was younger. South Africa, we used to eat a lot of rice, and so I'm kind of used to, I like eating rice. It's a very fine food, and so we can't grow it here. I don't think we can grow it here. So we should be eating the grains that we can grow here in our own country, but because of the organisational society we live in, they've organised it that our food comes from thousands of miles away and costs all this money to transport. I don't know how they come to this kind of arrangement. The butter's good. You know something's good if it tastes good, if it smells good, it tastes good, it is good. Your body will reject anything that's not good for you. It won't like it. Now, food is medicine. You are what you eat. So one shouldn't put bad medicine inside one. We shouldn't put products of decay inside us, really. For example, if you eat the product of decayed apples, it will make you lightheaded and woozy, and you'll start losing your mind, your senses, and you'll start bubbling and burbling to everybody stupid stuff. And you expect people to take you away and lay you down in the bed somewhere and, you know, talk to you about what you needed to learn, not to eat rotten, decomposing fruit. But it seems like the world out there hasn't learned this lesson. So more people drink alcohol than don't drink alcohol. In fact, if you don't drink alcohol, you're in a very small minority. It's remarkable, really, because just the smallest amount of alcohol in you will reduce your level of consciousness, make you completely feel bad. Yeah. They're so bad, people, that when they feel so bad that when they put alcohol in, they feel better. It doesn't work for me. The slightest amount of alcohol, it makes me feel worse. I don't need alcohol to be who I am, to expose myself to the world. I don't need alcohol to do that. Because nature has justified me and proves that by showing the people that I have no fear. Now, there's so much bad stuff in food. You don't know what you're eating. Is it genetically modified? What's that done to it? Big dog. And so there's nothing on the labelling. If you have a look at the label, it's got some meaningless stuff on it. It doesn't have the information you need. to determine if the food is natural or not. Anything that's concocted in a laboratory is not natural. Everything that your body is feeling is good for you, because you need to learn your lesson. If you're feeling pain, you need to feel pain. Nature wouldn't cause you pain except for a good reason. There's something you need to know. Now, for example, I get a lot of back pain. And it's caused by my lifestyle. It's caused by the lifestyle. The lifestyle is caused by the state of the society that I live in and what they've created, that forces me to be a prisoner in this place, really, because they've destroyed all the natural order. There's nothing for me out there to do. There's nothing I can touch out there that doesn't belong to somebody. If it isn't in this house, this little house here, it's not mine. I'm not allowed to touch any of it. The garden outside my windows I'm not allowed to touch. It's all part of the estate here that's managed by an organisation. Yeah. And so my back is weakened by the COVID epidemic, which you've got to be careful what you say, don't you? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. You know. So my back's bad because I've spent so much time indoors and on this bad chair here and not exercising, not walking around, not picking the apples, not helping with the harvest, not doing all the things they've taken away from me, you know. We all used to go and do the harvest. Every person, old and young alike, we all used to be involved with the harvest. We used to help out in the fields, we used to do all this stuff. And if we were working together, we would still be doing this. We wouldn't all be separated like we are now. And that is the fault, if you like, of the system of government that we operate under. Fake democracy. Not a democracy, because I have no say. None of us have any say. So there's no democracy. For there to be a democracy, we'd have to be able to attend our guild hall for our Berufung, and there isn't one. That would bring the local people together who shared similar interests. There's none of this. There used to be guilds. Now there's fake guilds. Some of them may be still, but then they're pretty ceremonial now. They've kept the ceremonial aspect, but they haven't kept their purpose and function. It's a big dog. The dog hasn't stopped barking for a long time. And so it's necessary to listen to the pain we got. Not think that we can go to the National Health Service and take some pill or get some operation or something that's going to sort us out. It is a bad idea. Now, to take any drugs, especially psychiatric drugs, these are the most insane thing that anybody ever invented, to make you feel better. Turn your tongue upside down in your mouth or something like this. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, this fake medicine, because it's not medicine, it's poison. It's poison that we're putting into our people being, and some people are forced to have this poison put into them, that will completely disassociate them and divorce them from the natural order and their natural disposition. It's going to change, and they're not going to be happy. Not going to be happy. They're going to lose their conscience. They're going to do stuff that they wouldn't normally do. And you can see that in the world. A lot of people are doing stuff that is surprising what they're doing. And so this is the result of fake medicine being consumed by the people at the recommendation of the medical system. And it's big business. It's big business. It's big money, and it's basically you can't actually use it. You can't use that system. It's just too dangerous. And so I can't say to people you shouldn't ever use the hospital, because there are times when you need the help of others, and that's the only place you can go. If something happens to you, an emergency happens, you have to go there, and the nature inside you will tell you, go to the hospital or go to the doctor. Otherwise, if you don't feel like going to the doctor, you better to stay away. Stay away. I had a cancer on my shoulder here, and I went to the doctor. I just knew I had to. And they cut it out. But I didn't do it until I understood why I had the cancer, what I'd done wrong to cause it, and how I would have then avoided getting it more again. And that was, I'll tell you the reason why I got cancer, was because I was helping some bad people that I didn't realize were bad. At the highest level, you can't tell the difference between God and the devil. You know, if you've got an angel or a devil, at the highest level, they're both very similar. Okay. So I helped some bad people. One bad person in particular is my complete opposite. Yeah, I helped the devil himself. And in that process I got cancer, because if you help the dark side, you're corrupting the whole world if you're helping the dark side. And so basically the dark side will come and inhabit you and get rid of you. Slowly. Cancer is a slow death, so that you've got a chance to realise what it is you've done and move through it. Now I did see an interesting thing today in the news. I think it came out on the 8th of the 8th, piece of news, that scientists have discovered, they just looked in the brain and saw something, that's all it was. What they did was they looked at the brain operation, electrical functioning of the brain of fat people versus thin people, and they found out that the messages to eat are coming from a different place in the fat person's brain. Okay. Well, that doesn't really tell you anything, but I can tell you why people get fat. People get fat because they're consuming more than their fair share. They probably drive SUVs and stuff like that. There are many poor people in the world, and they're not getting enough. And if you consume more than your fair share, you'll end up fat. Now nature makes you fat to show the rest of the world this, that you're consuming more than your fair share. It will also do it if you're bullying people. If you're a big bully, you have to be a big fat bully. You know, that is what you have to look like. Yeah? And all bullies, real bullies, are fat people. Okay. The other ones, the thin ones, they're weasels. You know, weasels rip my flesh. Weasels. They deal with you behind your back, you know. They're thin, like pointed, long, thin noses, stuff like this. Nature marks everybody as what they are. I don't expect you to believe this stuff. You don't need to. I mean, you can just look yourself and see whether any of it makes any sense. Maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a better guess. What do the scientists know? What do the scientists know? What causes fat people to something in their brain? No, 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 no. You've got to go to the source. Nature is creating the impulse to eat. Nature's creating the impulse to eat. They don't feel like eating. They don't feel hungry. So it's got to come from somewhere else. So it's another part of the brain. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's the science of it, yeah. We need to grow our own food. We need to be living off our own vegetables. We need to be with the animals again. Yeah? You're allowed to eat meat. You look after the animals properly and take care of them. You're allowed to eat meat. If you kill a pig and eat it, the pig, spirit of the pig becomes human in the next life. That's what it means. It's for a sign. It's not a bad thing, really. If an animal eats you, then you've lost your humanity. Next life you're going to be an animal. Yeah. Be eaten by a shark, this sort of stuff. Maybe you're some kind of predator on humanity. I don't know. Everything happens to you for your own good, for a good reason. And if you get taken out, how you die is a sign for all to see. A sign for all to see on every dead man's page. I don't know. There's a song. I'll try to dig it out and put it on the end of this video. This is the last chapter in the Individualist Manifesto, but there are many manifesti in the Individualist Manifesto, and so we've still got the three wings, which what makes the philosophy fly, and then the four wings, and then the three pillars, what it stands up on, what it stands on, its foundation, okay, and then the dream of an individualist, which I don't know what that is, but we'll find out at the end. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave you on this old recording I made some years ago. Thanks very much. Well, it took me a long time to find Donald Part 2. I thought it was like a mythical thing that I'd only thought I'd remembered making this video. I had to watch the whole of Star Chamber, all 5 hours of the documentary, and thinking, well, we can't be there. And then right at the very, very end, the very last ending of the Star Chamber documentary, there I find Donald Part 2. So I had managed to find him. And it's interesting because it's like the opposite of Donald Part 1. Donald Part 1 is about what happens if you fail on your journey in life, and Donald Part 2 is what happens if you pass on the journey of life. So I hope you enjoy Donald Part 2. The Star Chamber and the university site. Okay, there's the birds twittering for us. Time to go. Donald the one-legged pigeon, now become a man. I can't remember anything about how pigeons ran. I know the truth is everywhere, yet nowhere can I see any place for Donald in this disheveled tree. Donald the one-legged pigeon, and coming to the hour when my behavior determines, am I weed or am I flower? Blooming under the sun, like those other doggy ones, barking at your gun. Away from it I run. I thank you now, my maker, for everything you do. It's coming from eternity to help me clean my shoe. And all those doggy blackbirds, and all that doggy do is washed away from heaven and takes no part in you. No one can discover the origin of art unless he knows his maker and praise his golden heart. For all of mankind's wisdom, there's nothing in the end. It's how he lives his life on earth, his minutes he does spend, assigned to all the world seen on every last man's days. As God, the final artist, paints, always his final farthing pays. Donald the one-legged pigeon, and deep in emerald green, I wait upon your bidding, my maker wise unseen. Will you your earthly work complete for a few pigeons more to sing within your orchestra by your illustrious door? Oh, Donald, I would ask the same of thee, to sit ye by my fireside upon my very knee, where upon every subject we'll talk and we'll agree. I'm gonna fight for you, JB. That's one thing I wanna do. I'm gonna fight for you, JB. That's one thing I know I'm gonna do. And I know you're fighting still, and all those ancestors too. From your kingdom in the sky, you're helping all of the world. From your kingdom in the sky, you're helping all of the world.
That's where you learn the blues. We're all learning from you. And you brought it over to Manchester, and that's where we're all learning it too. We're learning it too with you now. Come on, here we go. You taught the Beatles, yeah. And you taught the Rolling Stones. I can't help myself. You know you taught the Beatles, and you taught the Rolling Stones. Coming back home. Now all these people are growing old, and a new life is coming through. It's coming through now. Help it all come through now. Come on now, boys. I'm gonna fight for you, JB. I'm gonna fight and all the other people too. I'm gonna fight for you, JB, and all the other ancestors too. Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin,